We have a very special guest tonight. Been anticipating and happy that we finally get to hook up with DSW Joyride Productions.
Hey.
We're going to hear all about his channel and what he's been doing and what he's got planned for next. And so welcome to the show, and we're glad to have you here. Dan, how are you doing?
Well, still in Utah dealing with family drama, but other than that, I'm doing pretty good. Let's see, what do we got? Got a couple new videos going to be dropping on my channel. I started a new series, just kind of trying to wing it and see how it turns out, doing 5 things. A lot of the ones I've been doing lately are vehicles under a certain amount of money. Got a couple of my daughter coming up here. She's been doing some entertaining things while we've been down here on vacation, so those will be coming up. Other than that, I got a project that's in the works. I won't really go into it, but I am hunting for. I find that'll be getting put into a video and put on here. Unfortunately for all my Mopar followers, it is a Chevy.
Shelby?
Chevy.
Wow.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
We'll be interested to hear about that.
For the GT500 yet. It will be a Chevy. So bear with me.
Jenny
O'Brien, welcome to the chat. Good to see you. Now, what type of vehicle have you got that you're driving? Tell the viewers about that.
Currently, I have a 2009 Dodge Challenger RT. Mostly stock. I've done some cosmetic stuff in the CAI, cold air intake to it, just kind of get it to cool down. This issue with the 5.7s is that it does overheat. Trying to prevent that issue. My wife has a 2013 SXT, that's the V6, but it's an all-wheel drive because where we are at, we do get snow. I have a 77 Blazer that is, well, it's my project car that my wife has been yelling at me for 5 years to get off the lawn.
Yeah, I can see that.
I don't know why she complains. I mean, it's on the side lawn, not on the front lawn.
So can anybody see any of these vehicles in any of your videos? Do you have any videos of your Challenger and your...
The Challenger is on almost all of my videos. The Charger is on a couple of the new ones. Hi, Deadpool, sweetie. Thanks for the support. The Blazer is not on any yet. It is way too horrible to even admit that it's in my possession.
Deadpool, good to see you. Deadpool's in a race. Her Deadpool car is very close to the same number of views as the Honda Del Sol.
You're kidding.
Yes, and the Honda Del Sol.
Thank you, Deadpool. I've been wanting that one to get beat.
That was just mean. You're gonna have to apologize to Eric Ramirez. He does have a really nice Del Sol, but the surprising thing about the Del Sol is the Del Sol has probably got the most views of all the show cars that we've ever filmed, and we've filmed some really fine show cars, just wild out there crazy stuff.
The Incredible really Hulk, okay?
And speaking of Mopars, it's your Mopar channel, the Incredible Hulk Mobile.
Yeah.
Is one of the best looking Barracudas we have ever seen. I would park that thing right beside that incredible brand new Barracuda that's coming out. And I think, was that your channel that I saw something about the new Barracuda? Did you put something up about the new Barracuda
No,
yet?
probably was. No, it's probably like RT Life or one of those guys.
Yeah, it might have been
They're
RT Life
way
or somebody
quicker than
like
I am
that
at
that put that up there. And but would you have any plans of doing any kind of videos on the new Barracuda? Have you seen that thing yet?
Yes, I tend to come out with them more towards the end of the year when they're definitely sure about their numbers, just because, you know, these guys throw them out and then they get asked a lot of questions like, well, what's the starting price? And, you know, it kind of sucks when you threw out an entire video like, I don't know.
Hello, Fab
So who knows? Yes, I got the message that that's got shipped out. Awesome, thank you. I recently won a giveaway from Fab. That's what he's talking about here. They're detail roller protectors for your wheels so that you don't kink the hoses. That's actually a pretty cool product. So yeah, I did see that you sent that out to me, and I appreciate it. And as soon as I get back from vacation and I have it, you are getting an unboxing video and a thank you video.
Awesome.
Awesome. And you heard it right here on InSaneFriends, one of the new upcoming videos on DSW Joyride Productions.
Well, Deadpool,
It'll be like
need
the
to
end of
know
August,
if you
buddy.
like the
I'm here for a
video.
while.
Yes, and Deadpool, did you like what I did with the Brianna's dancing, or Lady Deadpool's dancing?
Yeah, say the name right. Jeez.
Yeah, go figure.
She is an awesome dancer. I think every video, and especially on Deadpool's Instagram, I make sure to make that comment because that girl can move.
Yeah, yeah. So did you get to see that dance solo of hers in our newest video on the Deadpool?
I have seen. I gave you guys a full view and a like and a comment on it.
Awesome. Thank you very much. That's what
she loves the video. I am so glad.
That brings me something else I wanted to say to the viewers about DSW Joyride Productions and stuff. If you want to learn how to be very good in the community, which is really good for your channel growth, if you can know how to, you know, how to work in the community and how to help other channels out and how to support other channels, you can check out DSW Joyride Production and watch how he comments and watch how he supports the community and see, you know, there's some shout out videos and stuff like that. And just watch some of his videos and see how he maneuvers in the community and how he supports the communities that he's in. And you can copy a lot of really good habits from Dan at DSW Joyride Production, and your channel will improve just by doing the same kind of things that he does.
Well, I was going to put out a recent video for it, but since I'm on here, I'll just do it now. It's basically how I support people. I am not a sub for sub channel. If you sub my channel and you do not leave a comment, a like, or watch time, I will not return it. Because of the YouTube algorithm, it just kicks you off. In the last week and a half, I've gained 48 subscribers. And only remains with 15 supporters due to that. It's really awesome when you see your number jump all the way up and you're like, hey, sweet, I'm at 270. And then you look about an hour later and you're down to like 215 again. It really sucks. But if you don't do it to me, I won't return the favor. And if you do like, comment, subscribe to me, I always go over. I like, I comment, I give you full watch times, and I'll usually do anywhere from 2 to 4 videos so that you know I'm a supporter, not a subscriber.
Right. And I
expect it in return.
It's something you learn from experience about community building. It's different from sub for sub, and you know, I'm not going to hold it against anybody that's listening or watching if they've done sub for sub in the past. Because, you know, if you don't know what you're doing and you're trying different things, but you probably already figured out the same thing that Dan and I have figured out by now, that sub for sub just doesn't have any kind of lasting effect. It doesn't really get you what you're wanting. What you really want is channel growth and community building and supporting each other creates channel growth. And supporting is not just like Dan was saying, it's not a substitute for the word subscribe. It includes subscribing, but it's not all. Sub for sub is just sub and then leave. Well, actually, that kills the analytics on your video. If people are just subbing and leaving and putting little short pieces of watch time on there, that makes the algorithm think that your video doesn't match your title, or it doesn't match your thumbnail or something like that. And so
or it's really bad quality.
Right, or it's really bad quality, and YouTube will stop promoting that video, which is more than half your views, potential views that you would have had just gone. But if you watch the whole video or a large part of the video, then the opposite effect occurs. And so when you're trying to join a community and work within a community, and that's what you really need in order to grow. You need to be in a community, and you need to be a helpful member of that community so that other people can help you out too, and you're helping each other. More than subscribers, because that subscriber number without actual view count and view length is not going to help you. And what happens in our communities, in the Mopar community, in the Sane community, in the Iamacreator community, the best thing that happens in these communities is the watch time combined with the subscribership, combined with the likes, combined with the comments and stuff. You can pretty much tell if somebody's learned how to do community building by how they're commenting, and especially if they're still using the word sub and still using the word subscribe and back and that kind of thing. And people that are in that stage, in that learning stage, and they haven't learned to get beyond sub for sub, is not going to help you. It's not going to help you to have them subscribe to your channel. It's not helping them either, because those short little watch times that they're giving, YouTube sees that and figures that the person doing the sub for sub and doing the little short watch times, it figures they're just spamming, or they're doing sub for sub, neither one of which YouTube wants. So you'll have a high rate of subscribers on that channel lost, and that channel won't grow. So it's not good for either one.
It dings the channel you're on as well. It drops our rankings down because we have so many of them, and that just kind of sucks. But I also wanted to put in there that, don't think that just because I'm saying that if you don't leave me a comment and all that, that I'm not going to support you back. Because I get it. It's people like me and Victor. I mean, we have, over thousands of people we're supporting. We get it. It's hard to hit every video or even every other video. Just, try and keep it reasonable. Swing over, hit up my channel 1 week. I don't care if I don't see you for 3 weeks or whatever. If you're busy, I understand you're hitting up other channels. What I'm trying to say is make sure that when you do hit up mine, you're doing a full watch time, or at least 2.5 minutes. That's about where the algorithm is at now. Just show your support. There's so many people on here that put a video out every day, and I've realized that if you try to keep up with that, goodness gracious. Especially
I
if
used to do that too. I did that for 200 or 300 days in a row, and
it kills
you. You saturate your community, and people can't keep up with the pace at which you're producing videos, and you're killing yourself too, trying to do all that work and promoting and editing and filming and everything, and it just wears you down to a nub. It wears your community down too, them trying to keep up with all your videos and trying to support you. So I've gone back to doing, I still end up doing around 5 videos a week if you count our lives, but then we feel like we need to do at least a couple of lives a week. One of them the community news, to help people keep up with what's going on in the community, and the other one is a supportive show like this, where we can get somebody on here and let them talk about their channel and help them grow their channel and focus on them for a while, like we're doing with you tonight. And then still want to do 2 or 3 of the videos per week that at least that we're known for. And if one of those is going to be a repair video and another one's going to be show car videos and stuff, then that only leaves 1 more video during the week. So yeah, for us, that it translates to being around 5 videos a week. And I noticed you do more than just your own car on your videos. Sometimes you do shout out videos, and sometimes you do like what you were saying, you know, talking about how to grow your channel and stuff, videos about that. So how does that pan out for you during the week, and how does that affect how many videos you make per week?
You know, if you give a shout out every once in a while, it's not a big deal. I usually, when I do my shout outs, I try and do 4 to 5 people. I mean, I'm one of those people that I can't stand when somebody puts a 30-minute video up. I mean, who has the time to really sit there and watch that whole thing? I try and keep mine between 5 to 10. 15, I think, is the max I've ever put up there. And I mean, I was talking about 20 different things, so it kind of went that long. But really, it's not bad to do the shout outs. Like, realize if I'm doing a shout out, either one, somebody's having an issue, like Camaro was having kind of some personal issues here the last couple of weeks. So, you know, out of support for him, I threw it out, and like, not to toot my own horn or anything, but I ended up getting him 4 new subscribers. So, and you know, and he ended up giving me a thank you. And if you actually read through the comments, I kind of scolded him for it. I was like, all right, man, you know, I didn't do this for a shout out back. But he, you know, and he made sure to tell me, he's like, look, I know you didn't do it for a shout out, but I'm going to give you one because you deserve it. And, you know, that's really cool when guys give you support like that in return, especially when you're not really looking for it. It was, you know, I knew he was having an issue and there wasn't a lot of stuff I could do to help him. So I was like, well, here's something I know I can do. Here's a shout out. But a lot of the times, shout outs is also something that you can use as a filler. Like, if you don't have anything that you can think of on your normal scheduled day, you can give a shout out to the people that are continuously supporting you. And one that bumps you up in, you know, the algorithm rankings, because a lot of people go and look at those, but you're also showing support to the rest of your community and the people that are supporting you. And that's kind of what I try and do, is every once in a while, you know, well, like right now I have 4 channels that have constantly hit up every one of my videos over the last couple months, and they're getting a shout out here soon. Because, you know, to be able to, okay, for those of you that aren't in the automotive channels right now, this is our busy season. You got all the car shows, the meets, everything, because the weather is so nice. So this is our really busy time. So if you actually have time, are taking the time out of your day to support other channels still right now, that's a big thing. This is also, I mean, for everybody, this is usually vacation season. It's summer, the weather's gorgeous, or it's ridiculously hot, and you just want to go to the pool all the time. So if you're taking the time to actually wait and hit up your supporters still, that's really awesome, and I think you deserve a shout out for doing it.
So this is exactly what I was trying to articulate and figure out how to say to the viewers about the kind of habits that they could learn from watching your channel and copy to learn how to work within the community and get a lot better results than, you know, doing sub for sub or anything like that. That, what you're talking about, is what I think the word support means. It just because subscribing to somebody's channel is part of supporting them, it it includes all the stuff you were talking about, and that brainstorming that you were talking about thinking about how you can do things to help other people in your YouTube community and help their channels grow and stuff like that. That's what makes these communities that you're involved in so great and so helpful and so wonderful to be in those communities, because there's that's where the growth comes from, is from people in the community doing the things that you're doing for the other people, and then your growth comes from that because there's so many other people in the community that reciprocate, and it just snowballs into a lot of channel growth for everybody. It's great for everybody, and there's no downside to the things you're talking about doing.
No, and I mean, like you've attested to in a couple of your other lives and videos and stuff about how being in the Mopar community is what helped you create the Sane community and all of that, is the fact that we don't care if you're a Mopar guy, a Ford guy, a Chevy guy. We don't even care if you're an import guy. As long as you love cars and you're respectful and show support, you're going to get it back. And I mean, that's what a community is, a support community. I see a lot of these channels where they just kind of badmouth everybody and they call themselves a community. And it's like, okay, what kind of community are you then? If you're, I'm not going to throw them out here, but there's a couple communities that I've been invited to come hang out in, and like 2 minutes into it, I was disgusted, and I'm like, you're not a community. You guys are a bunch of a-holes.
I feel the same way. I mean, when I run across a community like that, I'd just rather go back and invest my time in people that are either in the Mopar community, the Sane community, the Iamacreator community, or the hashtag InSaneFriends, the Camaro community.
Camaro community for sure is pretty awesome.
Absolutely. And and you were talking about Camaro time there. Yeah, he was having a little trouble there for a while, but I don't know if you heard our announcement on Sunday during Sane Sunday Live, but he started a new job this Monday. So he's on his new job this week, which is awesome. That's great. And it will cut into his time a little bit on the YouTube, but it's still great news. It's a wonderful thing because he was really hurting.
I really don't see it cutting too much into his time. That is a dedicated supporter, but yeah,
I mean, he's
gonna have something else he's got to deal with.
He's gonna need to have a little transition time right there. When you first start a new job, you got to get settled in. You got to get to know the crew and everything. And there's a certain amount of socializing has to happen, because if you're gonna have cohesion in a crew, especially in a shop area, you got to get to know each other a little bit, and you got to get to know the layout of the shop and where all the pieces of equipment and tools and stuff that you don't have in your box that are the shared tools and the shared equipment and stuff, and where they're at and what they have. And sometimes they have a little bit different stuff than you were used to at the other shop, and so all that takes a little bit of time, and there may be some late working days and stuff like that. So I would be very forgiving to him if he didn't spend as much time commenting or being in the live chat or anything for a few weeks. And I think once he gets settled in, he'll come back stronger than ever.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And then he may have even more content, because like with the last job, every once in a while you'd see something from the shop that he was working at and working on some interesting stuff.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So what kind of work do you do?
I don't really want to answer that question, but I used to do a lot of construction. I about 6 years ago got diagnosed with muscle dystrophy in my back and got told 5 more years of construction and you're paralyzed, or you can stop and you might get 10. Well, I don't like listening to doctors. Quite frankly, you went to school that long to practice something. What are you trying to tell me to do? But it ended up about 2-3 years ago. It got really bad, and I ended up going in again to a different doctor. And this one, he ended up taking X-rays of my back, and he just goes, "You need to stop." So my daughter was coming at the time. It was right around the time we found out we were pregnant. Well, not we, but my wife was pregnant. So I decided that it was probably worth not getting paralyzed so I can try and spend as much time as I could with her. So I'm actually back in school. And on the side, I will occasionally do mechanic work, because I can't give it up.
We can share another thing in common then, because I was, always a lead from the trenches guy, and I was up to several years of 13 bays full, 400 to 600 units a year for customers, another 12, 13 cars a year that I'd fix up to sell, and another 1 or 2 show cars in addition to all that. And then sometimes I would go fix up a house and flip it at nights and weekends, and in addition to my martial arts stuff that I would also do at nights, 5 nights a week. And now I'm down to the gym 4 or 5 times a week, and trying not to work on cars, but yeah, I guess we both share a love of doing that, burnt, bruised, and bleeding. And sometimes it's just not avoidable. For a reason. And I'm certainly not going to let anybody work on my own cars until I'm in that wheelchair. But yeah, I've had the MRIs and all that stuff, and the back is terrible. and now I've also got the arthritis in it too. Yeah, we got to slow down sometime. And so the last couple of years I've been not back in a regular school, but I'll take all my classes online. I usually do an hour or 2 a day, and I've been doing that for 2 years now, learning all about the e-commerce stuff, and I'm making a little bit of money, not as much money as I used to on my e-commerce businesses, but some of them make pretty good money, and some of the stuff that I'm doing has the potential to make money, but it only makes a little bit of money now. And YouTube's one of those. YouTube has potential to make good money, but it's only making a little bit of money right now. It's probably the least money of all my e-commerce adventures right now. And so I'm planning on taking quite a few more classes. And in the meantime, she's doing the insurance stuff, and she's getting more licenses in the insurance stuff. So we're both switching over to more and more of non-physical money-making pursuits and non-physical businesses and everything, transitioning to that so that I can put off being in a wheelchair as long as possible as well. I already spent one weekend where I literally could not walk even good enough to get to the bathroom, and that was a horrible, horrible experience. And it took having one of those shots in my spine to get me walking again.
Cortisone?
Huh?
Had a few of those. Cortisones?
Yes, that's exactly what it was.
I've had a few.
Yeah. And yeah, so I've been really careful since then. And as a matter of fact, one of the things that I don't do anymore is I don't rebuild whole transmissions anymore. And I do have a pretty good worldwide company that sells transmission parts, and that enables me to lift. The largest amount would be an empty case, which is around 37 to 45 pounds. Because another thing I avoid is I don't do the really big truck transmission cases. I don't sell any of those, so that I won't be tempted to lift any of them, because I would. There's good money in that.
Especially when you watch these 18, 19-year-old kids that just do it wrong, and you're like, what are you doing? No, let me show you. And then you grab a hold of it, and you're like, oh, right, I'm not supposed to be doing this.
Absolutely right. And so
I yell at him because I want to keep him moving as much as possible for the rest of his life. I want him to be at my side. I don't want to have to push him.
In high school,
I will, but I don't want to.
In high school, my chiropractor and a few doctors told me that if I was walking at 30, they wanted to see proof. So I'm 32, and a year ago I walked in and gave them all the bird, but that's just me. Because I was like, look at that, I'm still walking, haha. And they're like, how well? And I'm like, shut up. But no, the schooling part's kind of interesting because, you know, you look at me, you wouldn't assume that I am actually an accountant. I do accounting. And when I tell people that, they're always like, wait, what? And I'm like, yeah, I do accounting.
But you do better than me. I always hired somebody to do my accounting. And when I didn't hire people, for a long time there, I had a really good QuickBooks Pro program that I used for my accounting. And that thing was awesome. I would just enter everything that I did in it, everything that, all my purchases and stuff. I had it set up to where I had to print my checks in QuickBooks to pay for anything. And that forced me to put all my expenses in there that way. And so I did that, and then all my repair orders and any money I had coming in, I also printed in that. And I was able to come up with all kinds of fancy charts and graphs and stuff like this. Matter of fact, most of the stuff I know about accounting for business, I learned from using that QuickBooks program. I actually had like 4 different ones of them because about almost 20 years of running that business, using that QuickBooks program, I went through 4 different versions of the because sometimes my QuickBooks version was so old, but I had bought it brand new when it was new, and it was so old by the time I upgraded to the next version, I would skip 2 or 3 versions to the 3rd version since it had come out. Because
I'm like that with
QuickBooks
Windows.
was sending me, QuickBooks would send me warnings through my email over and over and over again. Okay, we're not going to update this version ever again. We're not supporting it, and you know, it's going to become useless if you don't get the new version within, you know, this amount of time. And I'd finally get down to the very deadline, and I'd finally switch over, and it was always never as bad as I thought it was going to be to learn the new version.
Well, oftentimes it's easier, but you're just so like, no, I know how to use this. I'm not updating.
Exactly.
That makes a lot of sense to me, but I'm also stubborn like that too.
Exactly. We do a lot of the same things, it sounds like. And Deadpool Car here was letting us know that she understands she's got a ruptured disc, and actually she's
had fusion surgery too.
I am not doing that. That's one of the things that they offered me. I'm not doing that. I've been putting that off as long as possible. I have 2 ruptured discs, and one of them they
want to put me in the wheelchair.
surgery.
They can start fusing things.
And actually, I've got 3 because I've got a 3rd one in my neck.
Well, they can't do fusion on me because I have a bone disease that causes my bones to be more fragile. And when they start fusing, that means they're putting screws in and all kinds of stuff. And they can't do it with mine. It would just break them.
Yeah, she's being real dangerous.
Trying to get attention. Shattering. High emergency vehicles, trains, aircrafts, and etc. We're doing pretty good. We're not ignoring you. Just
welcome
talking,
to the chat,
so
emergency
I'm
vehicles.
You go through. Oh, Deadpool, sweetie. If we want to compare ailments, I got you beat. I was sitting 2 years ago in the snow, talking with my 82-year-old neighbor, comparing ailment to ailment, and it's really sad when you're barely over 30 and you're comparing injury to injury, problem to problem with an 82-year-old man.
Oh no.
I've been there. I got my 70-year-old coworker beat by 1,000 miles.
Yeah,
She
but we're
comes up with, oh, my back hurts. She's got one slip disc. And I'm like,
Well, I mean,
I
some of us
have
have more miles on
scoliosis,
ourselves, whether the
and
years are
my
there or
back is in
not.
the shape of a C. And she's like, well, I can't beat that. I pulled up my shirt and I said, you see this lump over here? That's my spine. Tell me about your
Deadpool car's got the
slip
diabetes too. I've got that's coming. I'm gonna put that off as far as possible. My mother's got it, my dad's got it, every single one of my grandparents on both sides had the diabetes, in addition to the heart disease and all
My
that
mom
stuff.
was adopted, so I don't know what's on her side.
But
Yay.
I avoid sugar and salt like it's poison, because it is. And
I've been in, according to the doctors, I've been in pre-diabetes since I was 5. So at this point, I'm like, whatever. They're like, you're
Yeah.
pre-diabetes. Okay, let me know when I finally hit it. Thanks.
Yeah. Well,
But at the same time, I really hope I don't.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't want to develop diabetes. I don't want to have to put up with that stuff. I watched all my relatives go through that, and I've seen what they have to do with pricking and injections and stuff like that. And I want to put that off as long as possible.
Yeah.
So I also avoid bread and crackers and stuff, like anything like that just turns into sugar in your blood real quick and shocks your system. I try to avoid it, especially processed sugar. I'm not worried about my bananas having so much sugar and stuff in there. That's natural sugar. It's not processed condensed sugar like what you get in everything from the fast food restaurants and stuff. So I don't really think that that's hurting me much. And the fruits that I eat, I like berries, like the blueberries and the blackberries and stuff like that. And I know they've got some natural sugar in them. But I don't think that's what's going to do me in. I think it's the Snickers bars that I ate when I was a kid that'll do me in, if anything does.
My whole thought process is out of everything I've done over my lifetime, if I seriously died from diabetes, I would be seriously disappointed.
Yeah, with that, with people like us, you always think it's going to be a car falling on you, or you're hitting by a truck. She's had nightmares about that. About me being killed by the car falling on me and stuff.
That is very graphic.
I've had a new guy in the shop a few times, and that's not even funny.
No, it's not.
Well, I've carried several of my guys to the hospital, and I woke up in the hospital quite a few times in my life.
I don't want to hear it.
You don't want to relive any of this.
The worst. I got one. The worst one I've ever had. It happened when I was 20, so quite a few years ago. But we had a new guy in the shop, and I'm so glad YouTube wasn't around and the camera phones back then were so horrible that nobody could view this, because he was one of those ones where he completely missed the frame rail and put it on the sheet metal and started lifting it while I was standing about a foot away. So yeah, I understand the fear of having a car fall on you.
Okay, one day when we were teenagers back in the day, I'm not going to tell you how many years ago that was.
Well, I didn't say, so you don't have to.
We had this huge,
was it one of the Mercury Cougars?
Yeah, it was a white Cougar. We were taking the engine and transferring it over. He was underneath it. It was on one of those
hydraulic jacks?
No.
Cherry picker?
Oh, the bumper jacks.
Bumper jack. Okay. He didn't have any kind of support underneath it, anything. He didn't have a ramp or
safety stand.
Like a true man not being filmed.
And I saw that thing start doing this. And it was going lower and lower. and I screamed. And he got out of it just in time.
Yeah, I was
Jack
pretty
failure.
quick back then. I was lightweight and fast, and I could move really fast.
But from that day till now, I still have nightmares of him being underneath the car.
And you know, I've got a collection of lifts since then, but I also have a collection of jack stands. From that moment on, I had jack stands, safety stands, and used them ever since then. And
Religiously.
yeah, I used those until I got lifts, and then I just worked under the lifts because, man, I tell you what, once you start working under lifts, and then you don't want to ever go back to working on doing groundwork anymore.
Yeah,
unless you're
especially if you
taking
know what you're doing.
jujitsu or judo, you don't want to do groundwork.
Well, I mean, especially for those of us with really bad backs, it's kind of nice just to have a kink in the neck rather than in the lower
Camaro
back. all day.
time! Awesome!
Camaro time.
Hey, it's about time. I've run out of things to say.
off
Start
duty
talking.
now. You can kick people out. I don't have to be
There's
mean.
nobody to kick out right now. Everybody's been really well behaved, and a lot of great people here right now. We appreciate you, all you guys in the chat right now. You guys are doing really good. And make sure you look for make sure you look for everybody in the chat. Make sure you look for names that don't look familiar, anybody that you don't recognize, and check out their channel, especially our guest tonight, DSW Joyride Productions. Check out his channel and connect with each other and support each other in the way that that Dan at DSW Joyride Productions was talking about earlier, with that community building and that really truly supporting others will help you out so much more than just a subscription. So now, Dan, do you have any idea how long ago it was that you met Camaro Time on the YouTube?
Well, I mean, some days it feels like I've known him for forever. But Camaro Time was probably in my first 50. Give or take. I don't know. Camaro, you remember when we started becoming friends? Because I mean, it was a while ago.
You both were probably like 3 digits when we started interacting, because it's been quite a while. I think.
Oh, ow!
And I don't know if he came from you guys or if he came off of one of the other Mopar guys. I don't remember. I just remember.
The first time I remember ever seeing you was through the Mopar community.
Yeah.
And
I definitely with those guys since I had a Challenger, but
right. And then, but of course, you know, we were involved with the Mopar community before, like you were saying earlier. A lot of the things we learned about community and utilized in our forming of the Sane community, which later our members started using hashtag InSaneFriends and stuff, and we embraced that because it sounds a little more festive, and if it makes the audience happy, then that's great. That makes me happy. Because the audience is happy, I'm happy. All that happened before, not just before we got involved in the Iamacreator community, because we were involved from the very beginning. I went back the other day and I was looking in our first video. Our first Iamacreator video was right there in the same week as that first Iamacreator video that was at the very beginning of Iamacreator. It was in the first week. Ours was on the 19th, and that one went out on Mackenzie's channel on the 22nd. So, you know, we were all right there in that first week, and that was when there was less than 50 people in the Iamacreator community, and the Mopar community was already going really strong, and we already had quite a few people in the same community. And you know, there's a lot of things we can learn from all of these different communities and stuff. And of course, you know, the Camaro community, which Camaro Time is a premier member of, and it just a lot of great habits here that people can incorporate into their YouTube life, for lack of a better word, and grow their channel.
Yeah, for sure.
So is there any highlights you'd like to mention about your channel? Any favorite videos on your channel, or something that you would hope that if somebody went and checked out your channel, some of the first videos they would see? You want to mention any of those? That the best
if you like cuteness factor, any of the videos of my daughter washing the car would definitely be a first time video. A lot of my newer ones are, like I said, I'm trying a new series, so it's not really what my channel's all about. I just kind of trying them out. So I mean, probably the end of this month will be when I switch back over to more what my channel's about, which is, you know, my cars, my kid, and supporting people. But I mean, my intro pretty much tells you what my channel's about, so that's definitely a plus. I am in the process of making a new one. As you mentioned before we actually went live, I am also trying to kind of start a more West Coast Mopar community. We're calling it #Mopar Mobsters. It pretty much follows the same functionality as the Mopar community, but Mopar community is a lot more of the East Coast based Mopar channels. You know, so while it's awesome that those guys do that, and I get invited to a lot of meets, which I kind of have to laugh about, it's a 38-hour drive to get to you guys. So 2-year-old and a wife, I would get killed. So no, I'm good. So I just kind of wanted to try and start a West Side one and just see if I can't get some more people from California and, you know, well, pretty much from like Utah, Colorado, Nevada, Arizona over to the coast. I do a lot of traveling between Washington, Oregon, California, Utah, Idaho, Arizona, New Mexico. So if I can get more, you know, people involved on my channel from those areas, I would love to meet up with people. I have told all of the guys on the East Coast, though, that it might take me a while, but I am going to get over there one of these days. But, you know, that's kind of where I am right now, is I got a lot of stuff on my plate, and I'm still trying to play catch up. So I do have a lot of videos that are going to be dropping here soon, though.
Very good. Very good. Yeah, sticking to your core. But it sounds like you experiment every once in a while with some other types of videos to see if it's something your audience likes better. And
yeah,
and I can completely identify with that, because we do the same thing. We try to stick to, like I said, but it kind of dictates how many or how few videos I can do per week, because if I'm going to still hit some repair videos, because I know my audience likes seeing those, and still hit show car videos and still do the lives to help support the community and stuff like that, and do the community news and stuff, then that pretty much dictates how many videos I'm doing per week. And then sometimes I like to throw something in there that's experimental, see if the audience likes this or likes that.
Yeah, because you never know. Like my last video was 7 cars for high school students under 4K. And I actually have a couple channels from the UK, and one of them is a mom, and she actually hit me up in the comments and said, hey, you know, that's an awesome video. Do you think you could do one for the UK? So, and I was like, well, hey, look at that. There's a video for me. Yeah, it's going to take me a while to research it. One, I'm not, particularly familiar with the UK. I don't know exactly what vehicles your high school student might want to do, nor where to really look it up. But yeah, give me a little while. I'll research it and I'll throw one up there for you. And you never know when you just kind of throw something random in there if it's actually going to get you more content.
Right. And that's one of the reasons why, not just because I like a variety of vehicles, but there's a lot of people in our community that likes a variety of vehicles, even if they like Mopars a lot, or they like Camaros a lot, or they like Mustangs a lot. Most of the people in our audience and in our communities, they still like a lot of other different kinds of cars, or if they like imports a lot, they still like a lot of, or if they like lowriders a lot, they still like a lot of the other cars. And so you never know for sure. And that's one of the reasons I like it, that we not only like a lot of different kinds of cars, but we film a lot of different kinds of cars, because that gives us something to look back on our videos and see which videos are performing really well and which ones aren't. And that gives us a sense of what our audience is really enjoying and what they're not. And we can get kind of an idea. We're still sticking to our core and still doing the things that our channel is known for, but at the same time we get a little bit of experimentation, and we can learn and kind of tweak it a little bit to be more interesting for the audience and still be interesting for us. Because if what you're doing on your channel is not interesting to you yourself, you're not going to be able to force yourself to produce those 4 or 5 videos a week. And and it comes out too. People can tell in your voice and your body language whether you're interested or not. It's something you learn in sales and management and stuff. People can tell. They're very intuitive.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, Deadpool. I love everything on wheels as well. But that's the other thing is you never know. I mean, everybody, even people who don't necessarily love automotives, you still need one. Almost everybody has one for a reason. They are almost a necessity in today's day and age. And you may not have somebody that gives you watch time that necessarily has the love, compassion, and joy that we necessarily do, but might be there just to research a good car. That's why a lot of my car videos that are coming out are, 5, 6, 7 vehicles under 4K, 5K, 10K. Cars that make you look rich but are extremely affordable. Cars that are, extremely affordable, good MPGs,
What about cars that are lickable?
Well, I mean, I'll do it for you, but I'm not licking them.
I'll lick them. Give me a Mustang with a Coyote. Yeah.
What if it's completely covered in rust, though? I mean,
if it's got a Coyote in it, it ain't going to be covered in rust. And if it is, I just shoot the person to let it get that way.
Well, I mean, maybe not with rust, but there are definitely a lot of wrecked ones. But I mean, that's kind of what I'm saying, though, is you never know who's going to be coming to your channel and whether they're going to be, who your big supporters are going to be. Hang on, Camaro time. Yeah, that would definitely actually be a good video. Cars you don't want to have as a teenager, or cars your parents don't want you to have, and so on.
Well, the cars that a teenager doesn't want to have, but you go.
Well, I mean, that's almost like buying a Prius. I mean, come on now.
Yeah.
Priuses work for us people that want like 90 miles per gallon, but a high school student rolling in on a Prius, that's kind of embarrassing.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean, unless your
and
high school kid does a lot of after school
back when I
activities,
was in
then
high
who cares
school,
what they
it was
want?
Pinto. Nobody wanted a Pinto.
I want a 76 Pinto because if I can live through that thing for a year and not get hit, I can say I lived through a Pinto.
Yeah, yeah. That was a major flaw. Many people I know died backing up.
you could just do a Mustang too.
Oh, God, no.
Well, there's a reason most Mustangs are coming out with V6s now because at least Mustang owners can drive them. I'm just kidding, guys. I know you guys can drive your cars.
I think they can handle. I think they discontinued the V6 one. The jump from the EcoBoost 4-cylinder
We bought
to the
we
V8
bought the
now.
Mach home yesterday.
Yep, we did bring the big bad Mach home, and I did get some walk around footage of the Mach, and I got some more footage of it in the new building, and with it idling, so you can hear it hitting the lick, and so that will be coming up.
It sounds
next
like
week.
a monster, but it's a kitty cat.
Well, I'm pretty sure you guys have seen my vehicles I've owned and know that my very first vehicle was a 1971 Mach 1.
Was it really? Mine's a 72.
See?
So they're going to look
Yours was probably
identical.
off the floor, though.
And but our first one I was driving to high school was a 71 Cougar XR7. Had the sequential tail lights and the 351 Cleveland in it. So I felt
yeah, but
like
Deadpool, if they came to pick you up in one now, would you get in it?
what the a 71 Cougar XR7?
No, a gremlin.
Oh, a Gremlin.
She got picked up for
She
a
got picked
date.
up in a Gremlin on her first date, no second date.
Yeah. Well, now
I mean, now it's still considered a classic now. So would you get in it now, or would you say no? No. All right. Fair game.
Back in the day, Gremlins was the thing that you got in if you didn't have anything else to drive. I drove a couple of those, but nowadays they've got a coolness that they never had before.
Gremlin.
No, you never saw me in a Gremlin. I didn't have to drive one, but maybe a week. And then
yeah, he had a Cougar when I.
But
met
it was
him.
it was something that I'd gotten fixed and sold right away.
He had a Cougar when I met him.
That was a very stripped down, better than having to walk utilitarian type vehicle, and it was ugly. It reminds me when they do some of these electric cars and they seem to make them ugly on purpose, that they remind me of the Gremlin. It was kind of aptly named because it was a ugly Gremlin looking car.
All right, Camaro time. The Windsor versus the Cleveland. I am a Cleveland fan.
You couldn't feed it after midnight?
You can't feed it after midnight? Yeah, I think it was already turned into a Gremlin. You might as well.
And you can't get it wet.
You get it wet and it starts tearing everything up. Yeah.
Yeah. That would be scary. I'm glad I didn't see that happen.
Hello, Mopar Arts RT. Welcome to the chat. Good to see you here. Deadpool car says now show up in a Chevelle or
any
Camaro
motor would
on.
fit. You might not have a hood, but it'll fit.
And Camaro Time said he had one with a 351 Windsor in it. You had which with the 351 Windsor in it, the a Cougar or a Mustang?
Gremlin.
Oh, Gremlin. Gremlin. That would be funny. The Gremlin with the 351 Windsor in it.
Yeah.
Now that would be cool. It's ugly. Hey, Camaro Time says Gremlin. see. So it was Camaro Time that made the Gremlin cool.
Yeah.
That's what happened. He put a 351 Windsor in it, and now Gremlins are cool. Ever since that happened. Now we know where it started.
Did it
What
shake
paint
itself
job?
to death, though? Did it shake
Sleeper.
itself
Yeah,
to death?
That Buick sleeper.
The body fall apart?
Yeah, you only get to win one race with it.
Yeah,
and then it goes.
It shake itself.
Now that would be
together.
a YouTube video. That would be a great YouTube video. A 351 Windsor and a Gremlin. It goes down the track one time. It wins the race, and at the end of the track, it just goes.
Of course, it was the yellow.
And then what was that little character in the movie Wall-E? One of those comes out and goes and cleans it all up.
The sweeper.
Yeah, a little sweeper.
The sweeper got the
Just
sleeper.
cleans up the Gremlin.
The sweeper got the sleeper.
That's almost horrible. But it's sad to say that would still be cooler than some of the vehicles today.
I'm that girl in high school, you know, that was me. That's me.
Mhm.
Yeah, pretty much.
So what would be, if you could have any car within reason? Now, we're not talking about supercars, $150,000, because I don't believe in spending that kind of money on a car. You have a nice house for your children and stuff.
Mustang.
But, you know, if you could have a dream car, what would it be besides what you already have?
Carol's right. I want a 2012 to 2014 GT500.
GT500, yeah.
As soon as I have the vehicle I'm trying to get, as soon as I have that, I am starting to save for it. So
I want to
it
start.
might be 5-10 years down the
different
line, but it will be on
motors.
this channel.
I want to start collecting the different Mustang motors, like the Transformer, the Coyote, the how many
Terminator.
others? Terminator, yeah.
Terminator.
Terminator. What else, sister?
I honestly don't know the name of the new one after the Terminator engine.
I just
and
want
then
a
they have the
collection
supercharged
of
engines
the
too.
different engines.
So they've got a lot of
Mustang.
I mean, across the board.
They are unbelievably awesome.
GM, Ford,
Hey, Wrestler.
and Mopar all have some really great V8 engines right now over the last decade or two that are those dream engines that we were dreaming about in the 70s with the overhead cam V8s and stuff like that. They're a reality now. And there's a lot of them that are old enough now that they're within reasonable price range for most of us to make projects out of and to, you know, have cars with those in them. And it's, you know, it's a great time in automotive history right now. Like I was saying on some of my earlier videos, we're in the middle of the third automotive renaissance right now. And I think the first one was, you know, going from the late 1800s to the early 1900s when cars became a reality and went from being horseless carriages to cars. And then again, from the 50s to the 70s, we had another renaissance there.
Because everything
And we're
from
going through a renaissance on that scale
awesome.
right now.
That's why she wants a 67 Chevelle, because everything from 1967 is awesome.
Oh yeah, you're in the
Well, I
heart
was just
of
wondering
the.
if there was more of a backstory to it, or if that was just, you know, the year she liked the most.
It's just awesomeness.
Okay, yeah, that's kind of what I was wondering, if there was a backstory. That is awesome that you took that for your license.
Isn't that right? Everything from 1967 is awesome.
Yeah, it sure is.
Yeah.
Shh.
You know,
The year we were born, by the way.
we're 67 models.
I figured. That's why I said, shh, you weren't talking. You said back in the day because you didn't want to admit how far back it was, and then you just dropped that.
I'm 50 and I look awesome. So, yeah.
Deadpool.
This is how
awesome.
you do 50.
Yeah, I'm not repeating that one.
It's
but
okay.
You heard about it right here on InSaneFriends. You heard it here first.
Deadpool likes them back seats.
Well, yeah, the front seat's not bad either. You gotta be more flexible for the front seat, though.
You also gotta have a car tall enough to fit you too. That tends to be a problem for some of us that are over 6 foot.
Yeah. Well, I'm 5'3", so I got no problems. I fit anywhere.
Wrestler Mania's first car was a '67 Fairlane. And welcome to the chat, Wrestler Mania.
Hi.
How you doing?
And Fab's here too, I think.
Yes, Fab.
Hey,
Automotive
Fab,
Detailing's
how you
here.
doing?
Yeah, Fab's back.
Talk about daughters working on cars. He's got a good one too. Good video with his daughter polishing the car. And you were talking about your daughter working on the cars with you.
Oh yeah, my daughter's in almost all my videos. Mostly just because she loves helping dad, and when I drop a nut down the engine, it's kind of nice to have somebody with small enough hands.
Yep.
Yeah, look. Here's a regular size hand.
Well, you're nowhere near me, otherwise I'd hire you, so I gotta stick with child labor.
Well, my daughter practically forced her child labor upon me. She just kept at me, wanting to get her hands in those transmissions. And she was 3 or 5, I can't remember. But it was around that age. It was before school. And she was just at me. And I finally just handed her a clutch drum and all the clutches and steels and everything. And said, here, stack this. And when she got done, I took it all apart because I figured I was going to have to take it all apart and put it back together correctly. But she had everything in there right. And I was like, oh, okay, here's you another one.
You're like, this is a fluke. Do it again. I still think that's a fluke. Do it again. Hey, look at that. All 5 are done. Thanks, babe.
Yep. Next thing you know, she's a teenager. She's finished 4 years of officers training, and she's working in the shop and won't work anywhere else.
Fast forward to about a month ago, she calls us and asks us for $600 because her car, she had it towed to a shop to get the alternator changed on it. And I was like, are you freaking nuts?
I'm like,
3 to 4 bolts. You know how.
I know.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't have any tools with me. So go to the parts store.
Get in an Uber. You pay the Uber to take you to the parts store. They loan you the tools.
Or you buy the tools you need. Yeah.
Or you just swing by Dad's and you steal them. I mean, borrow them with the intent of forgetting to bring them back.
Yeah.
No, that don't work.
I reminded her of a little vacation that we had in an '86 Camaro that was leaking water into the engine block. It turned out to be the intake gasket, and it's multi-port fuel injected, so there was quite a lot to getting that intake off. And she and I had a sheet hanging from the hood for some kind of shade to keep from blistered from the sun, because we were vacationing at the beach out here on the East Coast. And in the parking lot of a Kmart, going back and forth, we had no tools and had to buy Kmart tools to do the job and replacing the intake gaskets on the Camaro. So, and it got done, and there was no YouTube to watch. There was none of that.
And
Yeah, I've done the O'Reilly parking lot
she
mechanic
can still
work.
do it, but she doesn't want to.
Yep, that's it. She just didn't want to.
It just makes me angry, because if I were stuck on the side of the road, I know I'm not going to be stuck on the side of the road calling anybody saying, come get me. I'm going to be finding a way to fix what needs to be fixed.
And Deadpool,
I mean,
that's awesome.
She can still do it. She just doesn't want to. Doesn't want to.
I mean, putting an alternator on, I can do that.
Lost her ambition.
Back when I had my shop going, I actually went to one of the local schools and I was just like, hey, I heard you guys got a girl. And they're like, yeah, like expecting that whole sexist comment to come out of my mouth. And I'm like, she any good? Well, she's top of the class. Good. Where is she? Why? Where is she? They showed me where she was. I was like, you want a job? She's like, what am I getting paid? I said, well, I'll do two things for you. She goes, what? I said, I start my mechanics out at $13 an hour starting. Once you prove it, you get to go up. But for you, if you come in this shop and you embarrass all my mechanics on the first week, just busting your butt, I'll raise you to 17 an hour. That girl showed up and I just watched jaws hit the floor as she worked circles around them. And then I looked over there because, you know, some of my guys, this was back in the early 80s, mid 80s. Some of my guys were a little rude about it and sexist. And I'm like, yeah, you just got beat by a girl. Now pick it up or you're all fired. And I walked back in my office and she comes walking in at the end of the week and she goes, so? And I said, here's your paycheck, 17 an hour.
Yep. Yeah, those guys are the ones that are going to be the most
they work their butt off.
When they get showed up. They're setting themselves up for a fall.
Oh yeah, they're like, oh yeah, girl, ha 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 ha, and then she works circles around them, and after that, they work their butts off because it was embarrassing to them.
Yep.
And I was just like, I knew it would be. That's why I went and got her.
Well, I can do some mechanic work, Deadpool car, but I got this, so I like to watch him bend over the car.
It's okay. Somebody once asked my wife, because she used to work at O'Reilly, if she would change their wipers, and she just laughed, and they're like, what? And she goes, I don't know how to do that. I have a husband for that. She knows how, but it was more entertaining to say it, because then you get the look from everybody who's laughing at that point.
Right.
Well, Deadpool, the newer cars are easy. You just plug a computer in, it gives you 23 things that might be wrong, and you start running down the list.
Yeah, but I think that's a little boring. I mean, I like that back in the day you got a little light bulb and two little wires, and you connected it here and connected it there, and if it turned on, you knew your timing was right.
Yeah, well, I've got a little bit different take on that. The newer cars, you get your computer, you connect up, and you find out what the codes are for, and you know that it's not none of that.
None
of that.
Usually true. Usually true.
You pretty much eliminated all of that.
If
none
you
of that
hit it with a hammer and that don't fix it, it's electrical. That's my take on it. Anyway,
that is definitely an old school approach.
Yeah.
I remember one of the service riders at one of the dealerships that I worked at. I think, let's see, how did he say that to the customers? He said that we'll start with a computer diagnosis, and whatever it gives us the code for, we've got to fix that first, and then we'll diagnose it.
Yeah.
We've got to replace that first, and then we'll diagnose it.
Now,
or you hop on and you look at whatever would cause those codes to possibly come up, so you can actually backtrack to the real problem.
Exactly. That was his nice way of getting to that. He's letting them know that none of that stuff that the codes mentioned was going to fix it. None of that was causing the problem.
It's like, okay, this sensor failed, this sensor, this sensor, this sensor, this sensor. Okay, this is the last sensor that failed. So whatever is wrong is about 20 feet in front of that.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I wanted to address Camaro Time's comment. I really don't do the burnt, bruised, and bleeding anymore. I get burnt occasionally in the kitchen, though, but I don't have to feed him to get him to do what I need him to do. I just have to look at him like this. See? It's easy.
Yeah, Fab, that's definitely true. Oh.
So how's
Yeah,
that new
you
job
have-
coming, Camaro Time? You liking it?
Oh yeah, that's a
we
good
haven't
question.
heard anything about that yet.
We threw you out in the beginning of the video. You weren't here, so now you got to answer it at
Yeah,
the
you
end.
didn't get to hear us. We're all excited about your new job and everything and what's going on there. And
I sent out a lot of this for you today. Hey, my sweetie.
Well, you're 3 days in. How's it going? You surviving? You hating people? Come on, man. Give us some info.
Are
here.
they rude,
Yeah.
or they make you feel comfortable?
are
Did
they
they buy
easy
you lunch?
to get along with, or do they grease your door handles?
Yeah, are you getting treated like a new guy, or are they, realizing you might know a little bit more than them?
Okay, well that sounds promising. Since you really like it, I find it actually fun. That sounds promising. Good.
Well, some of
Do
us
they
don't have
a
his number,
refrigerator?
Fab.
There's the important thing. Do they have a full-size refrigerator at the new shop?
And
Is
just-
there a barbecuer in the back corner?
Yeah, yeah. DSW wants to know, is there a barbecue in the back corner?
we
Is
bought
there
the
a
one
kiddie
of-
pool for the
Fab-
days it
Fab
gets
beat us
hot?
to it. He talked to him on the phone about it. He's then called him and asked him about it. Fab Automotive Detailing.
Only a
Fridge
fridge and a
and a
microwave.
Okay, there you go.
That's horrible.
Awesome.
Tell them they need a barbecuer and a kiddie pool for when it's hot.
Yeah, but at least you can keep your coffee hot with the microwave. I do that frequently. As my employees would come to me all the time, I'd be hunting for my coffee cup, and they'd be like, "Have you checked the microwave?" And I'm like, "Oh man, did I leave it in the microwave again?"
Don't we all, Deadpool? Don't we all?
the beach bum. Oh, me? No, I stay out of the sun. You don't get this way at 50 if you get in the sun.
She burns easy too.
So be careful.
Just get yourself a big beach umbrella, and then you can just be a beach bum like the rest of us.
That's, I've always found out after when I try to go for like a week vacation at the beach, I'm always excited and stuff when I get there. And
I
after
don't
about
like
2 or
the
3
sand
days,
in silly places.
I'm like bored out of my mind, and I'm thinking of all kinds of car stuff and tool stuff and and business stuff and money making stuff and I just
Ooh, Camaro Time has full access to the boss's toolbox.
Is that because you
Oh,
don't have your
alright.
tools there yet, or just because he likes you like that?
right.
I can't imagine my sweetie letting anybody in his toolbox unless it was me. That's a
Yeah,
personal
Deadpool,
thing.
you definitely
Like-
can't live in that car.
Box, baby.
That's like sharing your toothbrush.
Yeah, that's where
Yeah.
I'm at. I won't let my own kids in my toolbox, let alone somebody else.
Yeah.
I especially don't want the kids in the toolbox. Of course, my dad said that too. He didn't want me in his toolbox. He was a rocket and jet propulsion specialist, and he didn't want me in his toolbox, but he was never home. So, and the toolbox was. So I took everything, and I took everything in the basement and the garage apart.
See, my father, it was my father's own fault. He told me that when he was growing up, what his father didn't know didn't hurt him, and that's why there was a lot of tools that got used. But he always knew, because occasionally I wouldn't get enough grease out of it.
Yeah, I think sometimes they do that on purpose, as a reverse psychology thing, to get us to pick up the tools and start learning. Tell us they're off limits.
Yeah, well, he always gave me crap about it, but then my brother came around, and my brother didn't clean the tools, so it got to the point where he respected my stealing the tools and at least cleaning them.
Right. That may have been the thing about don't touch the tools, was to get y'all to clean them before they put them back, to try to hide that you had them.
Probably true.
Yeah.
Hi, sweetie. It's getting late for me. I'm gonna have to go to bed soon because I gotta go to work.
It's true.
It's already 9 o'clock. Oh, what a sweetie!
Say hi.
Hey,
You say hi.
how you doing?
Some dad told her it'd be an hour, and well, they got home. So, do you want to jump up and say hi?
Hi. You're a cutie pie. What's your name?
Right, Camaro time. Her name's Pirelli, and yes, she is named after the tire. I just wasn't allowed to spell it the same way. Do you see yourself? Yeah.
Hi.
Well, you know, we had to keep up with the tradition. She's in every one of my videos.
Very good.
All right, you go bug mom.
All right. Well, she'll have you back here in just a few minutes. Is there anything else you want to tell everybody about your channel? What's coming up on your channel or anything like that before we wrap up?
No, I think I'm good. I mean, just reiterate that do have the Mopar Mobster, hashtag Mopar Mobsters for West Coast people. If you want to join in, it's a group just to people that enjoy vehicles. Yes, I have a special place in my heart for Mopars, but I love you whether you have an import, domestic, or whatever. I do have a couple videos that are going to be dropping here soon that well, I'm kind of behind. There will be a lot of 4th of July ones that get dropped at the end of this month, so those will be kind of cool to watch. We had a huge flag actually get unveiled up by where we're at. It is the size of 1.5 football fields, so that'll be a cool video to check out.
Wow, that's a big one.
Yeah, it took there was 43 people holding it off the ground while they raised it up. And the stars, each star is about 5 feet across. It's huge.
Jeez, that is a monster.
And other than that, no, I'm good.
Okay, is there any advice that you could give the viewers about growing their channel? Maybe your top 3 pieces of advice that you've learned from growing your YouTube channel that you'd like to share?
Communities, supporting the communities definitely helps. Getting a better editor. I have a real issue with my editor and the time I have to edit. Some of my videos, you can tell that I did not have time. And my other thing is, you know, be supportive of everybody else, but make sure you take time for your own channel. That's something that you touch on a lot that I love is, you know, you can spend all this time supporting other people, but if you don't work on your own stuff, you're not going to go anywhere. Yeah,
you got to have a balance of both, because if you try to go one way too far, you're really kind of expecting the community to grow your channel for you while you grow everybody else's, and that's not going to happen. You still need to do your due diligence, as they would say, of promoting and growing your own channel while trying to help other people grow their channel. That's what works best for me, has worked best for me when I try to find that balance of promoting and helping other people's channels and supporting other people's channels while still trying to promote my own channel. And so I completely agree with that. And Camaro Time has got a couple of videos with his software that I'm wanting to watch again and get, because it takes me a few times watching something or learning something. I don't just get everything the first time, and I want to watch that stuff over again. That's looking good about what he's using for his thumbnails, and it looks like it will do a lot more than just thumbnails. I'm still using TubeBuddy for my thumbnails, but I use it for a lot more than just thumbnails. I use it for the tags that I put on the videos and stuff like that to generate the tags, and a whole slew of other things that my editing software does not do. And I know no editing software does all these things that TubeBuddy does. And so I still put the link to TubeBuddy in every description of every video I've got, but I do think I'm going to end up getting this software that Camaro Time has as well, and I will probably start doing my thumbnails with that software that he's got. He's got some phenomenal looking thumbnails, and I'll still be using the TubeBuddy for all the other stuff that I use TubeBuddy for. And so there's a lot of, like you said, your tips for growing your channel. You can learn from that. You can learn some stuff from our channel, SaneAuto. You can learn some stuff from all you people watching, whether it's replay or live. You can learn some stuff from, check out that stuff Camaro Time has got. And definitely, everybody who hasn't already done it, go over to DSW Joyride Productions channel and support his channel, and give a full watch while you're over there and a comment. And
yeah, he's got some awesome stuff there.
Absolutely. And a lot of stuff you can learn. So, and we appreciate everybody being here for the show. All our hashtag InSaneFriends.
Awesome people.
Yep. And we just shout out a few of you here. We've got Mopar Arts RT here, Camaro Time, the Deadpool car, Mopar Arts. Okay, I said that already. And
Camaro Time is the hardest working moderator,
yes.
in the InSaneFriends. Thank you, Camaro Time.
She is. And Wrestler Mania's here, and Fab Automotive Detailing, another and Camaro Time and Fab Automotive Detailing has been on our InSaneFriends show.
Sorry,
and
screaming.
It's all right. We're about to wrap it up. So, but we appreciate you being here, and thank you for telling us about your channel and the stuff that's coming up. And
having me on.
Oh, it was awesome. So go take care of that baby, okay? Give her a big hug for me.
All right, and you have a good night. And everybody out there, till the next video, get off the couch and get dirty.
Bye. Mwah. See ya.